collectors in disguise. Children of Primus, collectors in disguise. Children of Primus, collectors in disguise. Children of Primus. Children of Primus.
And we are back. Teletrend 2, Frenzy Freestyle Sunday, and Sheba Kobe first in the comments. Awesome.
Sheba Kobe, she is the destroyer.
She is the destroyer. You know who so far we've got two ongoing mysteries. One, whoever the destroyer is, and two, who sent that package.
Yeah, no kidding.
Unless they're both the same person or entity. Well, as we wait for everyone to make their way over, I'm a bit under the weather, and it's, who gets under the weather on Sunday before the start of the work week? Like, it's supposed to have
Right.
The end of the week, and then, and then you kind of recharge for the new week. Instead, I did it in reverse.
And then when you call in on Monday, everybody thinks you're just drunk.
Exactly. Well, I think there's that one meme where it's, set up a ladder like in the workplace, and when no one's looking, set up the ladder, and then just lie down on the floor beside the ladder, and then just pass out, fall asleep if you have like a hangover. And Toy Warp says, welcome back this week, Mr. Magnus.
I was wore out last week. I was absolutely. I'm still wore out. I got the energy from the Cadbury eggs. Is the only thing that's keeping me going right now. I haven't had a day off in 3 weeks.
Oh.
That's the company and side work. So part of it is my fault. Last week we started that house jacking job, and it was a bear. I mean, it was a real bear. And this week we were supposed to go and finish that job, which would have been a nice payday.
Mm-hmm.
But the company that I work for, the higher ups discovered that something was done wrong on one of the jobs. Mm-hmm. And they said, Bill, we need to fix this. And of course, I know I'm just like that meme. I know that when they say we, they mean me.
Mm-hmm.
You need to fix this. So I went in and I showed them what it was going to take to fix this, because they had me get rid of my crew. The crew that I've trained for 6 years.
Yeah, I remember
They had me
that.
go back to nothing, and I got a brand new apprentice. Brand new. Like, can barely read a tape, brand new. Which, I mean, he's got to learn. I don't mind teaching somebody. I don't mind. I actually enjoy it. But you can't expect me to be able to do the job that I can do with a crew that I've trained for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And do the same job in the same amount of time with somebody that knows nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained that to him. He was like, okay, what, can you get this done before Friday? I said, with my old crew? Yeah. I said, with this one? I'll try. And he said, what if I say carte blanche? I said, then it'll be done. And so we worked 15 hours on Wednesday. We worked 14 hours on Thursday. And we worked 14 hours on Friday.
Oh.
And on Thursday night, he called me up and he said, now the next phase of that you're going to set up and do next week, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, if I let you call in your son to come back to work with us this weekend, can you get it set up and ready to pour on Monday? I said, if he's off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wouldn't come and work for you? I said, not if he's already working 10 hours for a company that he's working for now.
Mm-hmm.
And we got lucky. And, well, he told me I could bring back both of them. He told me I could bring back my son and my number one. And when I called my number one, well, yeah, we're on Teletrend too, so I can say exactly what he said. When I called my number one, he said, Bill, I love you. He said, I'd wait through hell for you. But you can tell Michael to get fucked.
Oh, that's mild.
And I said, so that's a no? And he goes, yeah, that's a no. He said, I don't care if it is time and a half and double time this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Now he can get
That's when you
fucked.
know it's real. When you
That's
have
right.
somebody down
And
there.
I don't blame him a bit. They did him wrong.
That's it. The principle.
Principle.
Yeah.
It's not about the
You
money.
know,
It's about sending a message.
Yep.
they said, hey, but we don't need you. Y'all cost too much. I found this out.
Oh, your mic's cutting out.
Oh, how about now? Hear me now?
Yep.
I said, I actually got to see one of the actual money sheets. And I, making what I make as the general foreman who negotiated his own wages, I am cheaper than any of their apprentices.
Oh.
So my crew is by far the cheapest labor we have at this company. And we're the ones that's causing them to go into the red?
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. Bullshit. But anyway, we got it. We went in 10 hours yesterday and 6 hours today. And we're ready to pour for tomorrow.
Nice.
But yeah, any minute now you might see that door open and close. That's just my ass finally catching up with me. Because it's been dragging for 3 days.
Oh, I know the feeling. Mario in the comments, hey again there, guys. Welcome again, Mario and Impactor Productions saying, Magnus, I have your face and I am going to start editing this week.
He has your face. That's so menacing.
I know.
Give me your face!
So I did receive something in the mail this week.
Oh.
It's massive. I am so pleased with it. But it came in broke.
Whoa.
Yeah, the packaging and the box had a great big crunch in it where it either got stepped on or something got stacked on it. It got dropped, it got kicked, whatever. And so I took pictures of it and sent, whenever I opened it up, there was pieces broke off of it. And it's got a few scratches on it. I was a little ticked off about that. And so I wrote them, sent them pictures, showed them the box, said, I don't blame you, but in shipping, this piece was damaged. And it was $112 American. And they were like, we'll email you a mailing label. Mm-hmm. Put it back in that box if you can, or box it up any way that you can. Send it back to us, and we'll send you another one. And I said, great. So they send me the email with the shipping label. Mm-hmm. Attached to that email, there is an offer. They said, if you would like to just keep that one, since the damage is minimal, we would credit you $65.
Interesting.
So I'm getting a $110 piece for $45.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. And I went, this is nothing that I can't fix. And I fixed it that's what I was doing, going to my drill and everything. That's what I was doing during Teletram 1. And it is now fixed and standing here and works. It's not like I just glued the piece back on. I replaced the peg, heated a new peg, and shoved it in and got it all snapped together here. And it works. It swivels. It's fantastic. And I will show you all the things that I use to replace these things.
All right. And Mr. Magnus was, Sir RJ Eagle saying, I was thinking you got divorce class Metroplex. Just kidding. It was the Vladivostok Metroplex. I ordered that from Big Bag Toy Store. And RJ, Mr. Magnus just got recently married. He's not trying to, put himself in divorce class.
Oh, no. But when this house jacking job is done, I may have a co-star here. I may have a co-star because that's I bid this job not to get it.
It's funny how that works.
You know what you're saying.
Hmm.
It's a job that's going to be so bad and going to take so long that you just bid it stupidly high,
And they're like,
and you know you're
sure.
not going to get it. But
Yeah.
if you're going to get it, you're going to make a ton of money doing it.
Hmm.
And they called me back and said, "We'd like for you to come and do this job." And I went,
Yeah,
so,
it's something about a lesson about never undervaluing yourself.
Exactly.
oh,
Exactly.
I don't undervalue myself at all.
Yeah.
I know, now, not to toot my own horn, I know that I am the best at what I do, and I only work with the best.
Hmm.
I don't use any substandard materials. I don't use any substandard tools. I'm a big fan of the tools make the carpenter. If I see a guy that's out here and he's working with Ryobis and Huskies and stuff like that, dude, you just need to get off my job.
Mastercraft.
Yeah, no. So anyway, I ordered this piece, and this is the newest oversize combiner. I've never seen the oversized combiner of this combiner.
Oh.
That's why I had to get it. And spin, it is the Protectobots.
Oh.
And it is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous.
I genuinely wondering what you were
Now
talking
grooves, front end, and the arms and the limbs, they all transform exactly the same as the not War for Cybertron. What was the Combiners Wars?
Okay.
Okay, so they're just bigger versions of them. And then so groove, the wheel pops up like that, and the whole canopy swivels around behind him and lays down.
Right.
That section was completely broken off of it.
Oh.
And all it is a pin that goes through this housing here. And this is the original pin. Let me get my pliers here so I can get my big ass fingers out of the shot. So this is the original pin, and the plastic piece that it stabs through was broken. So there was a little hub of plastic up here, and then you can see the part that's discolored. That's what was actually molded into the plastic down at the bottom. Now, about 10 years ago, I found these panel nails, because the hardest part about replacing these with just a nail is the size of the head of the nail.
Right.
This is the actual piece. This is the actual pin. I found these panel nails, these oversized panel nails, that have the exact same size head on them. Now I'm holding the original pin with one of the panel nails. And the panel nail has molding fins on it. So I can cut these off at any length. If I need a longer pin to get into the plastic, if I have to drill the plastic a little bit deeper to put a longer pin in, which is what I did for this. That's what I had to go to the drill for. Because I took that panel nail and I cut this much off of it.
Okay.
Making this the new pin almost a 1/4 of an inch longer than the original one. And then I drilled everything back out and snapped it all together, and to force them in, that's what I got these great big channel locks for, because don't just use pliers, boys, use channel locks. You can set the width to where you're still pushing straight. Pliers are going to push like this, and you're going to snap something. Channel locks, you can get them to where they close at the same size. They don't come in at a pivot. So, much ado about nothing. Let's show you guys this beast.
Dun, 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 dun.
And I put him on my scale. He's about 7.5 pounds.
Oh, that's nice. That is nice.
You got the finger pointing and everything.
Yeah. That's a
What's he an
defense sword.
oversized
So
of?
grooves. This is what was broken off, and now it swivels.
Nice.
But yeah, this is a great piece. I did have to look up how to transform because Hotspot does not transform the same as the Combiner's Ward one. He's got all these extra pieces. It's like he's got an upgrade kit on him. But yeah, this thing's massive. I'm really pleased with it. He's got a lot of ratchets, a lot of like locking ratchets in the knees, the elbows, the shoulders. He's got this great big gun, and he actually comes with 2 of them. But I didn't think that the protector bot, the rescue bot, should be dual wielding.
Hotspot Hotspot has it. That's just who he is.
But the gun does break down to this, which is what Hotspot holds.
Interesting.
So this is specific Combiner Wars version, embiggened, right?
Correct. But the Hotspot is different. The Hotspot is not the same, but it has the same Combiner Wars connections where they flip their heads around and they just slide in the back, and they got the little spring-loaded thing that snaps down over the back of it. Everything on it connects just the same as a Combiner's Ward, but Hotspot is different. The other 4 are just big versions of their Combiner's Wars counterparts. They all came with their own individual guns, which I really thought that it was funny that the police car comes with an axe as his weapon. And the ambulance has a triple-barreled shotgun.
Yeah, that's not first aid's choice of weapon.
The helicopter is another dual wielder.
That looks very similar to the G1 version of it.
And then this one goes to Groove. And then this is the one that goes to Hotshot. But he can also wield the great big ones transformed.
I'm stuck on some of those looking the size of like actual pistols.
Yeah, they're big. Yeah, especially the big bot, his gun. This is what I aimed at Impactor.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, you.
Gonna get demonetized for doing that.
Yep.
But this is God, what was this from? This was Y2K. This is the Y2K company is the one that made this. And you can get it on Temu. That's where I got it from.
Okay.
I got it on Temu. It is a Japanese third party, fourth party, whatever. But yeah, it's great. And I've seen it for just the last couple of weeks. And I was like, I am going to get it just to see if it's as big as it is in the pictures. And sure enough, it came in, and I'm not disappointed. He's good. He's solid, other than the fact that the box was crunched. It's got a few places that the paint is not perfect. It is paint, not decals. And like I said, I don't know if this happened because it was broke off and bouncing around in the box, but like on Groove, there's red paint.
Oh, I see it.
Where you like rubbed up against something while this was just bouncing around in there. Yeah, he's got big feet. He's got big hands. The hands are multi-jointed. All the fingers are separate. He's got a lot of ratchets, a lot of joints, except for the feet.
And it's so funny you got Defensor, because I'm actually wearing my Defensor birthday present shirt, t-shirt.
Well, I've got just about everybody else. And I was like, I've never seen a Defensor that I really just went, ooh. And then I saw this one and I went, ooh.
Well, it's funny looking at Defensor is like realizing that his pacifist robots are all on one side.
Oh yeah, Groove and
Yep. but he holds it together.
And maybe that's why. See, the other gun doesn't fit well in the. Is it rescue? What is the ambulance?
First aid.
First aids. You can't really put one of these big ass guns in that hand because of the back of first aid sits so high, and so much of that gun is behind the handle.
Got it.
So when his fist is here, first aid's back of his thing is way up high, and so you can't lock that tab into the palm.
Okay.
Because the hand sits so low in it. So I was like, I'm just going to make him point. The rescue guy, the first aid and first responder people, they don't need to be dual wielding anyway.
Toy Warp says, "Ooh," and
maybe their guns shoot water or foam.
This is true. RJ saying Spin is the most jealous of Defensor. Now, RJ also has says looks phenomenal. Magnus, would you recommend the oversized Protectobots? Are there other people complaining about QA issues? Did you order from Temu, AliExpress, TF Safari?
I did get it from Temu. Like I said, it was 104. The package that it came in was damaged to a regular combiner. Which one? You tell me which one you want to see him standing beside. Do you want to see him beside another masterpiece? Or how about I put him beside Studio Cell Unicron? Since he's standing right here.
Do it. While you're getting the comparison, Face Rip Optimus says, I am here for Magnus's face and to say that protectors must be armed to the teeth and be brutal and ruthless and should destroy their enemies.
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 Violence is the solution.
Okay, so he is actually tall.
That and coffee. Cats.
Wow, he's as tall as Unicron.
Exactly as tall as Unicron, basically, on the dot.
Studio Cell Unicron.
Crap.
Defensor.
Yeah, that's big.
That's a size comparison, all right.
The only thing powerful enough to stop Unicron.
Defensor.
Oh, Defensor with the Matrix. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Defentimus. Actually, what would happen in a storyline if a combiner got the Matrix? Because, I mean, if the combiner became overpowered or changed, what happens to the individual bots?
Interesting. I don't think that's happened before.
You would have to put it in the central. You would think that it would have to be in like hotspots,
right.
Silverbolt, not Motormaster, but you would think it would have to be in the centralized one.
But then, what happens to the other four if the central he becomes a prime?
So in Combiner Wars, the comic, Optimus used the Enigma to become, I forget the name of the combiner. I think it was Optimus Maximus. Him, Prowl, Sunstriker, Mirage, someone else, and they made a combiner team. Just spontaneously, to save the day at the end. But Optimus already had the Matrix at that point, so there was no new effect on any of them. He was just like, I'm going to use the thing, make us into a combiner so we can save the day. I'm going to look that up really quick because I forgot so much of that just there.
RJ Eagle saying a great comparison there with the Defensor next to the Unicron. And just before that, he said, actually, any comparisons would be great, Magnus, but if you have any mainline combiners for comparison, and he started laughing with the Defensor versus Unicron. And
it was just what I have on hand, but I've got Superion, Studio Series Superion. I've got Studio Series Devastator that I could get easily. I can't wait to stand him up next to my Fans Toys Minosaur. That might be a scene that I have to make.
There you go. And I am corrected. Face Ripper Optimus is Prime taking a crap in the spirit can.
He spelled it wrong, so it's Face Riper Optimus. So his face is
I
riper
know.
than someone else's face. Yeah. So it's Optimus Maximus's big debut in the comics. Ironhide was the fourth guy. They were selling the Combiner Wars toy, but yeah, when they eventually decombined, they were just normal. Nothing like specifically changed about any of them. And this was when Optimus had the Matrix, so it just I guess the guy in the middle would change and the combiner limbs would stay the same because that's how Optimus generally works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now the toy version of him made him solid white when he became a combiner, but that didn't happen in the comic. So who knows if that's meant to really mean anything.
Actually, you know what? And it just reminds me. And I wonder if they will mention this in Skybound, and I guess I throw this to you if this has ever been played out in any of the series.
Yeah.
Anytime, I mean, Optimus Prime, which comic book wise, technically the truck is Optimus and the trailer is Prime. So when he loses the Matrix, there's that joke: does he lose the trailer? What happens in Skybound? The fact that he's kind of reverted back to just Optimus. Is the trailer and roller still there and Battle Deck?
We don't know yet.
No, Alita got it in the divorce.
Scooches over.
That or it shrinks down to a small U-Haul that you just trolley along on.
Yeah. So Skybound, we've never seen Roller in that. He does have his trailer and combat deck, but they don't like go with him most of the time. He only brings them with him if there's like a reason for the story to use them. Most of the time, he just doesn't drive with them. So we haven't seen him lose it. But we haven't seen it appear since then because that's literally the one issue that's been published.
Okay.
But they don't play it as being like special, so it wouldn't shock me if it's still hanging around their base when they get back.
Right.
But Skybound doesn't play it as a part of him. It plays it as just a thing that he can take with him if he specifically needs it.
Okay.
But now does he even have the option to?
Interesting. Well, I don't know. There hasn't
the trailer did go to Hammer Space.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't do that in Skybound. That's just a cartoon thing. In Skybound, it's a physical thing that he has to bring with him sometimes, but usually just doesn't. Like, usually the truck just doesn't have a trailer.
Fortunate.
Well, what happened to it when he died in Sumbo?
That is a good question. Like, what happened to the trailer? And then does it? Oh, sorry.
I could throw this back to you because you know Sunbow a bit better than me. After he got resurrected, did he ever transform and have the trailer appear again? In the 4 episodes he was in after coming back to life?
It did. And it's fun. I was just thinking that too. But when they're walking through through those caves, the trailer does reappear.
God, what a horror story. I guess the trailer was just trapped in subspace for a couple years while he was dead. You know what I mean?
That must suck.
Yeah.
How about poor Roller?
Yeah, exactly.
Roller's just hanging out in Hammer Space going,
Just trapped between dimensions for a couple years. It's enough
Did
to
you
drive
forget
anyone
about
insane.
me?
Yeah.
Him and Battledeck just hanging out with each other like Tony Stark and what's his name? What's her name?
Black Widow?
Sorry?
Black Widow?
No, not in the first final Avengers, the second one, when Miss Marvel comes in and saves Tony. Nebula. when Tony and Nebula are basically just stranded. That's would be Battledeck and Roller, just stranded in this, unknown space forever.
What would be great though is if they had all had a big argument right before Prime went in to die. They're coming down the ramp. They're coming down the ramp and Prime's charging, and he fires those jets to get airborne. and as he's leaving, he was like, "Fuck you, roller! Fuck you, battle deck! I got this!" And then he dies, and they're all like, maybe we should have been more on board with going into the fight. He hasn't called us back for 3 years.
You know, Roller's probably like a little of a cynic where he's just like, yeah, Prime, you ain't got this. We saw what happened.
Yeah, Optimus is just sipping his cat coffee, just listening to this conversation like, I'm not saying anything. Sip.
And RJ is saying, Magnus, we got to see how he stacks up with any studio series combiner. A Unicron is here and says, I'm here to eat Indiana and Defensor and Roller.
You have to break into subspace first.
And Toy Warp says, well, after 4 million years, that few years should be nothing.
You know what? Yeah, they weren't in the Ark. It was just Optimus was in the Ark. They spent 4 million years in subspace waiting.
No, RJ says, wait, has Roller ever been in the Skybound comics? Without any spoilers, I'm only on issue 16.
Yeah, I don't remember him being in Skybound. Like, he only brought the combat deck with him a couple of times. Like, specifically in some of the early issues. Like, when they set up at a hydroelectric and stuff.
Magnus, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, Toy Warp says, I trimmed my bushes to make my battle deck look bigger.
That's what I was laughing at when I got up.
That's a mental image I didn't need.
That's why we're on Teletran 2.
That's why he'll have his emotional support alligator like licking its alligator teeth.
Don't worry, Toy Warp. We've got the maple syrup that us flappy heads are going to send down to you. Oh, okay, here we go.
So this is the
crazy character.
This is the Studio Series Minosaur with the upgrade kit.
Okay.
So the difference is that these oversized ones, these are masterpiece scale. So, yeah, he comes up to his cock.
I was going to say elbow, but, you know, you went...
I was waiting, like, shoulder, waist. Wow. Okay, now question.
Yeah, so it's a lot bigger than the Combiner Wars guys.
Now that Defensor, did you see other combiners that interested you in that same size?
I've got them. I've got all the Jim Bows. I was hoping
okay.
Jim Bow would put one of him out, or Jim Bow Computron, but they didn't come out with one. So this is a Y2K is the name of the company that made this one.
Okay.
So let me get one of these Jim Bows. And
while you're getting it, Fear has an image on the screen.
Yeah, I double checked and verified. Prime's Roller doesn't appear at all in Skybound, and the trailer only appears in issues 1 and 2, and that's it in issue 1 where Optimus is telling Ratchet to load his warriors in there, and he's not addressing the trailer. It looks like that from the dialogue, but it's because it's continuing from a sentence in a previous panel.
Okay.
Yeah, so he loads it there, and then they bring it to the hydroelectric dam. They set up camp, and then it just never appears again.
And since we were talking about Predacons, let's get the Jinbao Predaking.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Let's see how that scales.
There's some combiner wars going on here.
His face sort of looks like he's got a big smile.
It does.
My gosh, Defensor is actually taller than Predaking.
Yeah,
I think the only
crazy.
one that he's not going to be bigger than is Gravity Builder.
I'm guessing Gravity Builder's a Devastator.
Yeah, because Devastator's massive. But this, in my opinion, this is the best Predaking. Mainly because the wings of dive bomb are separate feathers.
Yes, yeah, that is very cool.
So you can.
I'm trying to remember which limb Tantrum is. The bull.
The bull, yeah.
I'm mainly
He's down
attached
there.
to
He's a
him
leg.
specifically because of Forge to fight.
He's a leg.
Wow.
You really want a bull as your leg. Well, that's pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
So let me grab Gravity Builder. Now, I do have all 4 upgrade kits on him. So I had to alter the shelves of these cabinets to fit him in here because he's the size of a Titan. Come here, you big bitch. Oh, this guy's like 12, 13 pounds.
Figures that you can work out with.
Yes.
Hercules, Hercules.
I'm just worried that table's gonna collapse. That is a person.
Yeah.
That is.
That is a child. That is one of your children.
I just saw its face and I'm like, that's a person's face,
Like you
And
need
just some guy.
like a minivan for like all of these guys.
Yeah.
Let's get a baby seat for him when you take him anywhere.
Well, it's funny you say that. The TF.
His eyes light up by themselves.
Well, I know you had that person that was going around with what was it? Unicron?
Yep. In the baby stroller.
Yeah, Gravity Builder's eyes light up on their own. It has many LEDs in it.
So cool.
Yeah, this thing is massive.
Yeah, that's the size a combiner should be.
Yeah.
This was one of my first oversized ones. I actually got the MBK one first, and I found out that it was a knockoff of this, and I was like, oh, I must have the real one. And I put it out on Transformers Liberated, and somebody was like, yeah, I've got a Gravity Builder I'd sell. He said, but I'd much rather trade. And I went, oh, you would? What are you looking for? Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Pieces are falling. You lost a foot.
No.
Ah, my foot.
I was just thinking that.
Starscream moment.
Yep. So actually let's jump into into one of our fun segments, and I actually have 2 articles for that. Let me just get it ready.
We have articles, eh?
Yeah, I'm happy with this oversize.
Nice.
I can tell.
Here we go. So, all right, I'm gonna bring that out, and here we go.
We are on stage.
This week, another CBR article, which they mention a new Transformers release brings a forgotten G1 anime Decepticon back from the dead after 39 years.
G1 anime. Unless they're talking about Headmasters, Master Force, and Victory, they're using the term wrong. Okay.
They read loosely.
Yeah.
I think I might know which article this is, because I remember seeing one earlier today that was dated today.
Blind box action figures now, because I guess they got reaction figures already aren't just too expensive. They also got you also have to gamble and might not even get the one you want. Are they talking about Sound Blaster? Is he really forgotten? Is that who they're talking about?
That's exactly who they're talking about.
A Decepticon who isn't as well known as most other Generation 1 characters. Soundblast. Okay. So first of all, they did use anime correctly. I thought they were going to pretend the Sunbow cartoon was an anime. This is weird because I guess it depends on sample size. I think Soundwave, getting repainted in black and turning into Sound Blaster is like a really commonly known thing if you're a Transformers fan. But if you're a casual reader, that's probably something you don't know about because that never happened on any of the Western shows. And it's something I've talked about in the past where Sound Blaster is one of those characters that gets overrepresented because he's an easy repaint. Because if there's a Soundwave, and if that Soundwave is going to get repainted at all, Sound Blaster is the first thing they go to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll do Shattered Glass or maybe Marvel Purple if you're really lucky, but 90% of the time, Soundwave's getting turned into Sound Blaster.
Well, I mean, the comments, of course, one of the comments, why did they make this? At this point, nearly almost every Transformer fan knows who this guy is.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry, I've got 1,000 things going on this computer over here. What are we talking about?
Oh, another CBR article
that considers Sound Blaster to be an obscure Decepticon. The fact that he was
Sound Blaster?
Yeah, which I'm like, kind of. If you're a Transformers fan, you definitely know who that is. But if you're like a really casual person who maybe knows Soundwave, you might not know about Sound Blaster. But the fact that I said this last time we reviewed the CBR article, and I really just feel like they have to churn out a ton of Transformers articles. So the fact that one of the new wave of reaction figures is doing a Sound Blaster doesn't seem remarkable at all. But it's like, we got to do an article about it, Mm-hmm. So we're going to call them obscure, and then that'll give us 500 words and a headline, then we can clock out for the day.
Yep. Even another comment, he's had many figures in the last 39 years and appeared in the animation at least 3 times.
I will say, in their defense, there hasn't been a Sound Blaster by Blokies yet, so they do have that. There's been a Shattered Glass Defenders, and then the regular Soundwave. Then there's been both in the regular size and the Defender sizes, and then there's been the TF1 Soundwave, and then the Action Class. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of like how they have that Optimus Prime 2.0. If they ever do a 2.0 of Soundwave, they just do it as Sound Blaster.
Yeah, it's
but
weird.
Maybe to give some other consets, like Wing Sing.
Well, according to Wiki, his first appearance was in 1987 in the Headmasters.
Yeah, because the lore is, of course, Soundwave and Blaster have a big fight at the North Pole, blow each other up, get rebuilt, and they become Sound Blaster and Twin Cast.
Yep. Impactor says Sound Blaster last appeared in Siege and Cyberverse Season 4.
He did, both times.
Actually, it'd be even, I'm trying to think, when was that? Yeah, Legacy, the core class figure. The Sound Blaster.
Not too long ago, a couple of years back.
Can't remember which park of it might have been issued more than once. There was a lot of times that like the Optimus and the Seekers got reissued.
It's like he's had a lot of figures, so I don't know if he qualifies as obscure. Like last week when they were talking about Flywheels, that has more of a claim to being obscure than Sound Blaster does.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even a very long article, so it's 100% like I got to meet a deadline.
Yeah.
Like I don't hate it. It's definitely somebody just trying to generate another post.
Well, speaking of which, and there's another one where it's basically just trying to generate another post. A forgotten G1 Transformers villain rolls into new model kit
Guessing
lineup.
Overlord.
Are you talking about Overlord? I guess.
That's
Let's
gonna
see,
be my
was.
guess because he's
He
two of the
wa-
vehicles in that wave. Might be the. Oh wait, now yeah, you got runabouts in that wave. I'm trying to think if there's any
I mean, you
others.
could make an article about most of these guys here if you're going to call
Shattered
Overlord obscure. You could make one about
glass.
Scoop, you know? Or Iron Fist. Iron Fist is exactly as obscure as Overlord. Because here's the thing. Overlord used to be obscure. He was obscure in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. And then he starred in Last Stand of the Wreckers because Nick Roche and James Roberts were a fan of the European G1 stuff, as we saw in that article that one of them wrote last week. See, this is all connected. It all relates to each other.
Hmm.
And since then, Overlord's been in lots of things. He's been in the IDW comics. He was the one good part of the Prime Wars trilogy cartoons. He's had a
Yeah,
bunch
with
of
his southern
figures.
accent
Oh yeah. That's what I mean. He
and
was the best.
luscious lips before Megatron had him.
Yeah, I was like, James Roberts and Nick Ross used to say, "Oh, he sounds like Tim Curry. That's how we write him." And then he showed up in Prime Wars with a southern accent, like a slow, drawling one, and I'm like,
Hmm.
why does this work for this character? I can go back and read him this way in the Wreckers comics, and it really works because
Yep.
he's this like slow, menacing kind of degenerate, twisted person. So kind of giving him that accent like really works for the
Remember,
character.
did Mark Hamill did Megatronus's voice in Prime Wars?
Oh yeah, they were all about whatever celebrities they could get.
When RJ saying Sound Blaster is Soundwave. They aren't two separate characters. I think most lines have a Sound Blaster. Even Transformers Animated had one.
Yeah, that's what I was saying because it's the most easy repaint if you're doing a Soundwave, and he
No,
has been a separate character a few times. Sometimes they like doing that, right? They did it
Yeah,
in they
the
did it in IDW. They did it in
WFC did. Yeah,
Cyberverse. Yeah,
yeah,
you
because
know,
what
what
is
is what is
Cog, Elite, RC? I can't remember who else went to Sound Blasters, and it's like he's very sensitive about being called a clone of Soundwave.
yeah.
what is Galaxy Force?
Galaxy Force is the Japanese name for Transformers Cybertron, which was the third entry in the Unicron trilogy in the 90s. Armada,
Okay,
Energon, Cybertron, and they call
because
I mean, the
Cybertron Galaxy
I've
2000s
Force.
got the
maybe.
Sound
in Japan.
Blaster
Or
wiki brought up, and it says in 2006, Sound Blaster was another name for Logos Prime, the Ancient from Galaxy Force,
Yeah,
and that's the only one of these that really doesn't connect to Soundwave.
yeah, basically. So they did one little story, a manga in Japan, and the purpose of this manga was they were selling the reissued versions of Beast Wars, Optimus, and Megatron. So it didn't even have anything to do with him. So they were like, write us a little story to sell these figures. And they were like, we got resurrected after our deaths, and we're in this weird little virtual space, and we got to fight. And the person that's fighting is, let's make something up, Logos Prime the Ancient, and we're just going to draw a Sound Blaster in his place. And, as soon as this gets documented on a wiki somewhere, it grows. So they're like, oh yeah, so he's also secretly an ancient prime.
And Impactor says also one of the Galaxy Force is a Bloki's line name.
Yeah, because Galaxy Force is a cool name. They like reusing it, but that was its original use.
Now, in this article, they also mentioned Run Amok, Scoop, Iron Fist, Breakdown, and Roadbuster are far less mainstream.
So why didn't you write articles about them if they're less mainstream? Also, I'd argue that I Runabout and Roadbuster, though, they're not more obscure than
No,
Overlord.
no.
Iron Fist, like I said, is exactly as obscure as Overlord is because he also got made into one of the main characters in Last Stand of the Wreckers. So
Hmm.
they're even.
I don't know. It's once again another CBR article of
Well,
all sorts of question marks.
Yeah, well, we're noticing a pattern here. If you need to write a CBR article, what you do is you go to one of the news sites and you look at whatever new wave of stuff is coming out and you pick the one that is the least common, and then you make an article called "This Obscure Autobot slash Decepticon That Nobody Knows About Is Finally Getting New Representation in This Toy Line," and then you plug it into the article, and there, you're done.
Yeah, I think we've just written 200 more CBR articles for them. So.
Yeah, we just cracked the code. It's like, don't check if they just got a toy like a year ago. Anybody that's not a member of the G1 Cartoon Cast qualifies as obscure now, I guess.
Oh dear. And on that note.
It's really funny because I feel like I know and understand these writers. They're like, we gotta write like 4 more of them. Let's see and I understand their process exactly.
You know, if I had time, I'd start writing some funny CBR-ish kind of articles. Exactly that, and just call out like all sorts of characters that everyone forgot about. And I'm like, the character was there for the last 40 years. Just because they weren't focused on. They're not obscure and forgotten.
I'll tell you, if they do a new hubcap toy, there's going to be a CBR article that says this obscure G1 Autobot is finally getting a new toy. Because he's about on the same level as some of these guys.
Well, hubcap, tailgate for sure. Because people forget about him too, even though he pops up here and there.
He was on the cartoon. He was on the cartoon for a half second, and it took till like this decade for them to check the dialogue scripts to confirm that one of those lines was supposed to be him, because we couldn't see who was talking. Tailgate's another one where he was a member of the Lost Light crew, so like he's now like a major thing with a lot of personality in that comic because they kept grabbing obscure characters and making them members of the cast. Him and Swerve, both of those mini-bots were like leads in that comic. So they have tons of screen time, tons of personality, just not in the old cartoon, just in the IDW comics.
Well, and that means they'll probably drag Whirl into the equation too of that style of writing.
They had fun characters. So Swerve was the bartender, because their starship had a bar, of course, right? He was the bartender, and he was really talkative and kind of annoying. That was his whole character. Tailgate's thing was funny because he's millions of years old, and he was on the way to the launch of the original arc, and then he accidentally fell beneath Cybertron's crust and got frozen. And he's kind of a screw up, so it was played as kind of funny. And then right before the Lost Light takes off, and bear in mind the war is over, he's like, wakes up finally, he's like, oh, they're leaving, and he winds up on the ship, and then he gets to be the point of view character, because they're like, one dialogue was like, look, the other day I had to show him a picture of Optimus Prime because he didn't know who he was.
Wow.
Because it predates that. So his Tailgate's thing is just he's naive and doesn't know anything about anything.
Okay.
Yeah, they were a fun couple of characters, and they were completely blank slates, so James Roberts was like, I can just do whatever with them.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, let's see, before we there we go. And before we round up, try to keep everything within an hour. Are we featuring a character for this week?
Oh, you know what? I can do that. I have point form notes, which is not the same as a written thing, but let's see if I can nail this in 45 seconds or less. So, as we go back through my reviews, a recent one I did was of Studio Series Age of Extinction Optimus, who's a leader class figure. And yes, Age of Extinction is a terrible movie. I say a lot about it in the written review. But you know what? They made a very good Optimus. Yes, he's kind of small, and yes, he's kind of expensive, but he's sort of premium the way like a figure art would be. He's incredibly posable. He's got movable fingers. He's got a clean robot mode with a very tiny backpack, which, considering some of his previous figures, is exceptional. He's got tons of accessories that do a bunch of different things. And he's got a really, really complicated transformation, which should be a bad thing, but it's weirdly intuitive. It's a fun puzzle to do, where he basically explodes and reforms, and you understand where everything goes as you transform him, because it all has a visually obvious spot. So yeah, ignore the movie, but check out the figure, because genuinely he's kind of a work of art in plastic form. And find out more on childrenofprimus.com under our blogbot section. Bam!
Nice.
Yeah. That was one that yeah, and that came out of one of the Magnus boxes, and I was like, everybody says this figure's really good, that's why I'm gunning for it. And I was, you know what? Occasionally, sometimes the internet is right. Not often, but sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes. If it's on the internet, it must be true.
Yeah. About 30% of the time.
Mm-hmm. Impactor says, Ropebuster is mainstream right now in a lot of communities, along with Whirl and Iron Fist.
Yeah, and it's all James Roberts and Nick Roche's doing, because they wrote those record stories, and then he wrote Lost Light, and those are really popular comics. So those guys ain't obscure anymore, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how the Guardians of the Galaxy used to be obscure until they got a big movie, you know.
Yes.
I mean, these guys didn't get a big movie, but they got a big comic, so.
Well, as we have our last call in Cybertron, I guess, Saddam, what do you have coming up for the week?
Just realized I could. Well, earlier I realized I can put that coffee cat and have Optimus hold him. So maybe I'll do some picture of that.
God,
Take me
I
about.
kind of want to find that arm in that Optimus just so I can do that, because I'm like, yeah, that sure is Skybound Optimus right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, eBay it. He has an eBay shop. I can't remember if he has an Etsy shop as well. But yeah, I sent you the links to his little. It's the guy who made this arm. This discussing. I think it's his second revision of it. His second version of it that I sent you the link of.
Yeah,
And the other video was a comparison of the other major two. So.
Optimus
Yeah, I might do something with that, since I just only occurred to me to do that when I was watching the stream, and I realized I never realized the Megatron arm is his right arm, which is also the arm I had the accident with. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll have myself sitting by Optimus and like set the camera on timer, and have us both, me and Megatron arm Optimus, like sipping coffee while there's a cat in the scene or something. I just have to get Mango to come across the street or something like that, or have Shinta with me. Ugh, I'm gonna get this before I have it fall down the stairs. Ugh. Surprised I got him to hold it.
and to you, Mr. Magnus, any upcoming orders?
All right. So let's go to pile of loot.
Oh, there it goes. Excuse me.
So I had 2 new additions. I've got 18 more days before I have to send some of this stuff in. But I now have 3 of the 4 upgrade kits for Studio Series Devastator. The 4th one is supposed to come out the 1st of April, so I'm hoping it's going to hit here first. But in the pile of loot, we still have Wind Charger, the 4-pack, the Dramatic Capture Series of Thundercracker, and the camera guys, Reflector. DK70 upgrade kit. Movie Studio Series Leader Class Soundwave. Blast Off. 2 Brawls. Another Blast Off. 1 Deluxe Breakdown, because I still need one for my set that's in the box that hasn't been opened yet. I wasn't able to find an extra one in the store back when he first came out, so I'm getting one to complete that set. My twin pack of G2 Swoop and Sludge. Is it Sludge? Sludge.
Those neon bootleg looking guys, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, they do look good.
Yeah.
The DK71 upgrade kit for Devastator, DK72 upgrade kit for Devastator, and I'm just waiting on, where's my pre-order? I think it's 73. Yeah, DK73. Still no word on the Robeson Soundwave. He's still here with red letters, so he has not hit them yet. And Masterpiece G-Style MPG 17 Optimus Prime is still here with red letters, so he hasn't hit yet. And then we have a DK77 upgrade kit for the aerial bots, the Studio Series aerial bots. And Onslaught, 2 Onslaughts. And I've got a Megatron sitting here. What's this Megatron? Transformers Movie Studio Series Leader Class Megatron action figure.
Is that the damaged one, the 40th anniversary one, or is that like the normal one? You probably already have the normal one, so it's probably the damaged one. It's over prime close-up edition, basically.
It's the Studio Series Megatron. Here, I'll share it. Oh God, I got so many windows. Which one?
Thinking if I get anything this week, it will be this Saturday coming up. I think that's when I get my big pay.
That one.
4th.
I am. Oh yeah, that's the. Oh, that's just the normal Studio Series leader. Oh yeah, I'm surprised you don't have
How
that
much
guy yet.
they charge? 59.
Which, like, if I was going to, I prefer that. It's got
that already in stock, and you're just waiting to get enough stuff to do the big pile of loot?
No, this one's not in stock yet.
Not yet. Okay, so it's a recent
re-release.
If I wait this long,
yes, it still says pre-order over here.
Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper than GameStop. I think GameStop is like $61 or $64.99.
Yeah, Megatron figure, Saber, and Blaster. It comes with a 10mm pegged Megatron transformed that you can put in people's hands.
Nice.
I think that may be why I got it. For the gun.
Our last comment for the evening, Impactor says, well, besides making Magnus's face transform and working on an old stop motion project, oh wait, my big video is a stop motion of where Roller and Trailer went after Optimus died.
Let's go show him at a coffee shop. Coffee shop off of Solaris 7. Sitting in there having a couple of...
in McAdams or whatever that bar is called.
That's it. And
drinking Energon coffee.
So on that note, we're going to sign off for the evening. We are off for next weekend because it is our Easter holiday weekend. So we will be back the week after, which would be...
Happy Zombie Jesus Day early!
Now, hypothetically, let me just say, hypothetically, Pink Hot Rod is supposed to come out tomorrow. I've not been refreshing this page like crazy. So we'll see if they ship it to me like they're supposed to.
Also, for those of you who do need one, I found a new glue. And you can find this at most of your hobby shops that sell Warhammer 40K and stuff like that. It's called Extreme Power. $6 for this tube, US, and this stuff is wicked. It sets up in about 15 seconds. As long as it's got good, clean. If it's a clean break, doesn't have any warpage to it, everything. You put two pieces together and hold it on there. 15 seconds later, it's set up. I didn't like the cap, and so I put a little pintle nail in there for the lid to keep it from drying out. Because I ended up gluing the cap to this, so I didn't care for that cap. Because then I had to take a pair of pliers to get the cap back off of it the first time.
Right.
But yeah, it's some wicked stuff. It's what I used on that drop ship that I did, that I painted and put all the Lego pieces and stuff on it for the towers, the radio towers. Yeah, it's wicked stuff. I really like it.
Nice. All right. Well, on that note, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. We have an early morning tomorrow. Thank you for everyone in the comments hanging out with us, and like the video and subscribe to our channel, and to Impactor and to Toy Warp, and everyone else who are within our collectors in disguise. And until 2 weeks from now, until all are one.
Until all are one.
Are one. And then
We now return you to the Children of Primus.